Alright, it's time for your first 3D drawing. And we're going to be using line, circle, orbit, and UCS, which you should be familiar with at this point in time. And we're going to be creating a three-dimensional die. It'll look, kind of like this one here. But, let me stop that. What I've given you is a flat dimensioned object like this. Now, typically we would get to this drawing after first going through a 2D section all about foldable objects. We didn't do that section. I cut that out of the class, so this note here about it looking like a foldable pattern doesn't really mean a whole lot to you. Don't worry about it. But I will draw it two different ways. One way can be folded in 3D space in the CAD program. The other way will just be drawn quickly in CAD. So what I'm going to do is just click so I can get the larger version, and very quickly notice that the size of these squares is 6 by 6 typical. My holes are all 1.5 from an edge somewhere, 1.5 from each other as well. And that's about it. Those are the only dimensions, except for the center one. That's 3. It would normally be 1.5 down and 1.5 over from something here, but there's nothing here. So 3 by 3 to get it right in the center. And then as far as where the actual holes go, I don't really care. I didn't look to see what a real dice would be laid out like, so I just sort of created this and it looks good, although you probably wouldn't ever want to roll this. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a 6 by 6 square. And I'm going to do it the easiest way possible. I'm just going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm going to start, and it's going to ask me where the other corner should be. So I'm just going to tell it should be 6 in the X, comma 6 in the Y. If you didn't see me typing, that's where I was typing down there, 6, comma 6. And I'm going to press enter, and that did not work. Why not? Undo. Maybe because I moved my mouse in the middle of the whole thing. I also didn't notice, I don't know if you guys noticed, you can grab that and stretch it out to make it taller. There's also a symbol missing here. I wonder what feature I've got that's turning that off at the moment. It's a good thing. I kind of like it turned off, but there is a tool that will automatically do some things for you, and I kind of thought it was set up to do that, and clearly it wasn't. So we get another lesson here. I'm going to take that rectangle tool, I'm going to specify a first point, but instead of just typing 6, comma 6, I'm going to type the @ symbol first. That's over your 2. You hold down Shift 2 to get that. And what that does is it tells the computer to take measurements from your first click, not from the origin of wherever 0, 0 is. And so I'm going to say @ 6, comma 6, so it'll go out 6 in the X direction, up 6 in the Y, and then enter. That looks a little bit better. Now, this is going to be a 3D object eventually, but for now I'm going to stay 2D. I'm going to jump back over to this drawing. I did an Alt-Tab to get over there, by the way. And I need 4 boxes in a row, and then 3 going this way, kind of off that second one to the right. So I'm just going to use my copy command. I could use array, but why? I'm not making that many copies. That endpoint, that endpoint, that endpoint, that endpoint. Okay, so far so good. Copy it again. And I need a new base point, so stop the command, start the command. If you can hear that noise in the background, those are my guinea hens right outside the window. Alright, basic layout. And I need to come in here and put some holes in. And I'm going to do that by first figuring out where their center points are. I'm not going to draw a single circle until I know where those circles should go. And I'm going to do that just by, there's lots of ways to do it. There's no right or necessarily wrong way. I'm just going to do a quick line. And I'm going to come down here, let's say 1.5, and come in 1.5. Alright, so that would be one circle. 1.5. Let's go another one. 1.5. Got that. I'm just going to copy that. Grab this, come down straight. 1.5. Might as well do another one. This time it would be a total of 3. And I've got the endpoints I need for my circles. You know what? How big are those circles? Where's the radius? Radius 0.5. How about a quick circle on that endpoint with a radius of 0.5? And now we'll just get busy copying, using those endpoints as am I missing one? Okay, there's one. It's not here. Ah, there it is. Now, I'm doing okay if I need all these circles. But I don't need all those circles. So why did I create them? Because in each of these boxes, I'm going to need at least some of those circles. So why not create them all, copy them everywhere, and then delete the ones I don't need? Much quicker. I'm going to get rid of these lines. There's no reason to drag these lines around with me anymore. And now I'm going to copy these circles. And I'll just use this lower corner here, because with that lower corner I can hit every other box. There we go. Now jump back over here. What do I need? I just need the 4 corners in this one. So everything else goes away. Okay, here I only need the center one. So I picked probably the worst possible square to put all those circles into. Down here I just need the 2 corners. Everything else can go away. Up above I need the 5. Wait a minute, so 4 corners and 1 center. So click, click, click. Now over here I just need the 3 diagonal. So let's see if I can get those in one selection. Yep. Can I get these in one selection too? Yep. Alright. Good. And now we just need the 6. Get rid of that center row. Got my basic dots. Now, let's use orbit a little bit. Remember, there's your regular orbit and there's your free orbit. And I'm going to go like that, because now what I'm going to do is going to use a new command that you may or may not know. It's called 3D rotate, depending on whether or not I have worked with you on this command before. You might know it. For the rest of you, it's going to be new. The quickest way to get there is I'm just going to type in 3DR. You can see it showing up down here, 3D rotate. I'm going to press enter and then pick the objects that I'm going to rotate. Well, how about I rotate that side? There we go. Press enter. It wants a base point. The base point is going to be the hinge, the part that doesn't move. I'm going to set this corner as that base point. And now it wants a rotation axis. So are we going to rotate around this line here, or are we going to rotate around this line here? Clearly it should be this line. So the colored circle that lines up with that line, that may be a little harder to tell, but it's the red one. I'm going to orbit just a little bit so you can see that. Green would line up with the other one. So what I'm going to do now is just click that red axis. Whoa, no, I'm not going to click that red axis. That would be stupid. Sorry, I want my object to rotate in the direction of the green axis. The red axis would line up with it and rotate the opposite way. So I'm going to click green. And now it says specify starting angle. Easiest way to specify the starting angle is actually click on your object. Since we clicked on the base to set the hinge point, click on the top end to show it where we're going to grab this thing. And then as you move your mouse, everything just comes with you. Now my screen's a little laggy because I'm also doing a screen recording. Yours should also move a lot smoother than this. And then you can stand it up straight, and you can use polar tracking and all that to try to get the angle just right. Or you can just type in an angle and press enter. So I'm going to type in 90 and enter, and that side stood up. And I'm going to repeat that process for all of these. Okay, there's my axis. This time I'm going to want the red, 90 enter, Oh, went the wrong way. Really? Undo. I'll use -90 this time. There we go. Use orbit again and 3D rotate. Undo. You know what? I thought that was going to be -90 again. Irritating. Okay, here's a chance to use another tool that we don't get very often. I accidentally hit both of these squares. I'm in a select object mode, so anytime you're being asked to select something, you have all of those different ways to modify your selection. We looked at those tools several weeks ago. What I'm going to do is type in R and press enter to switch to remove objects, and I'm going to remove that square because I did not mean to get that one. And I'm just going to press enter and pick my point, pick my right axis here, and then type in 90 because the -90 went the wrong way. One more. No, I take it back. It's not one more. It's actually two more. This guy here. This time green. I swear this one's going to be -90. Yes, it is. And one more time. This is truly the last one. This should be also -90. 90 would go to the left, laying it open. -90 is going to go to the right. And there you have it. A box, a die, all the circles in place. Now if only I was done at this point, but I'm not, because what you have to do is add dimensions to all of this stuff. Now notice I drew all of that without ever moving the UCS. Yeah, you're done with that. Now you got to move the UCS all over the place, because dimensions are one of those commands that only works on that XY plane. So right now that XY plane seems to be sharing a surface with this one rectangle with the one circle on it. So if I switch to a dimension tool here and I add a, oops, didn't mean to do that. I add a dimension, it's going to lay on that surface. If I add another dimension here, and then maybe here too, let's grab that center point. Come on, lay in there. I'm not liking that. Where does that one come from? I might have to do some fixing. Grab the center point again. Come on, stretch out, snap. Alright, why am I getting a 1? Can you go this way? Alright, this is why we dimension drawings, because clearly somewhere along the way I typed in a number and thought I got something that was accurate, and apparently got something entirely different. So if you ever got into this position, this is a start over moment. There's no quick and easy way to fix that, because I did copies of everything. So that means if this one's wrong, then guess what? So is every other center circle, and possibly everything else I base that center circle off of. This is one of those moments where you just want to give up and say, nope, not doing it. But don't, because what this actually is a moment to realize that maybe dimensioning things before copying them over and over and over would be a great idea. Because yeah, alright, well, we're going to use that as a learning opportunity. Anyway, that's a drawing that I would just start over, erase everything and start over. But for now, what I'm going to do is keep dimensioning a few things and find out what else might be happening. So let's say I want to put dimensions on this surface here. First I need to move the UCS. So UCS, I'll put the origin in that lower left corner. I want X to run this way. I want Y to run this way. And now, orbit this just a little bit more. What's on this side? All right, it appears we're just looking at those two circles there. As you look at all these circles and you start to look at all of these dimensions, it can get pretty confusing as to what circle belongs to what side. So we are going to color code this as well. The first thing I'm going to do here is throw a couple of these dimensions on. Hey, why is that UCS highlighted? I don't want the UCS to be highlighted. There we go. Get out of there. All right, dimension there to there. It's refusing to move. That's awkward. My commands aren't working properly. That was the smart dimension tool. It's not always so smart. I'm just going to switch to linear dimension and go this way. Yeah, I don't exactly know how I ended up with oddball numbers, but yeah, see, that one's off. 1.499, not exactly a 1.5. We're going to do a linear dimension this way as well. There we go. That is really weird. I have no idea how I came up with those numbers. But you can see my dimensions are now on that surface instead of the other one. Now, it would be nice to get some of these out of the way after I was done with them. So what I'm going to do is make a few layers. So your layer property box is right there. I'm just going to click the new layer button and say 1, new layer button, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Why did I do that? I did that because there's 6 sides to this box, and that's going to be an ugly one. And it would be nice if they were all something I could independently control. I could easily tell the difference between them, and I could turn them on or off. So let me quickly set up independent colors here. How about a pink one? That's kind of more purple, but that's okay. And we've already got a red. How about an orange? That could work. All right. What I'm going to do now is just close this, and I'm going to put the side that has 1 circle on it on layer 1, the side that has 2 on layer 2, so on and so forth. I'll put the associated dimensions on them as well. So these are the 2 circles I was just looking at, with that dimension there and that dimension there. I'm going to go put those on layer 2. Press escape. Okay, I'm going to grab these layers or these dimensions here, and the circle they were measuring. Put those on layer 1. And I'm just going to orbit around real quick, make sure that I did grab indeed what I thought I grabbed. Yep, looks great. I'm going to turn those 2 layers off. Well, actually I'm not. I could turn them on and off with the light bulb here. I'm going to freeze them because I don't want to accidentally delete anything that's on those 2 layers while they're invisible. And now I would continue on my way, dimensioning the rest of them. I'm going to do one more side, and the rest are up to you. UCS. Yeah, that is super weird. No idea how I ended up with those oddball dimensions. Makes me wonder. If I measure from the other side, well, show my center point. Yeah, I'm getting 1.5s there. Oh, you know what? I bet I know what I did. Nope, take it back. I don't know what I did. I just thought I was going to get a perfect 1.5 there too, and I did not. And just to be certain, let's mark these center points. Yep, 1.5, 1.5. Go up this way. Yeah, I have no idea why these 2 numbers would be good, and those numbers would be off, and that number would be way off. Anyway, there's side 3. grab that, and I'll try to get all the dimensions at the same time without getting anything else. Looks like I got it. Throw it on 3. And there you have it. If I turn the other layers visible again and we orbit around, you can see how this is going to look by the time you're done. Now keep in mind, what I don't want to see is any numbers like this. Your numbers should all say 6s, 3s, and 1.5s. Anything else is clearly a do it again. Look, those numbers aren't even the same. 14796 and 14999. Wow, did I mess that one up?